We've been heavily involved in the community, collaborating with small businesses, doing some small business highlights. We've been heavily involved with youth sports, with the Wolverines. We've been communicating with the school principals and the families and the students. So honestly, you can just expect us to expound on that as we have all these committees that we've been trying to just get off the ground and get rolling. So we're excited about just bringing more volunteers on and more members on and just continuing the work of the association.
Well, I am chair of the community coordination committees, therefore I was involved with Ron Felton, who chairs the strike force, in coordinating various organizations within the community to put on a free COVID vaccination clinic series. That clinic series involved the Wilkes-Barre Health Department, the Wilkes-Barre Housing Department, Community Care, Geisinger Healthcare, and the Wyoming Valley United Way. All of us worked in tandem to present the COVID-19 vaccination clinics to 6 housing units that are owned by the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, the importance of the strike force is to address vaccine hesitancy in communities of color, and especially within the city of Wilkes-Barre. And so, like I said, I have been working doing Facebook Live broadcasts to address this issue. And John Barnes, our community coordinator for the NAACP, offered to assist me. He's been a critical help to me because in the NAACP, just for those who don't know, we don't have co-chairs. It's chair and that's it. And if there was a co-chair, John would definitely be my co-chair. I think we've had some amazing results with our efforts. Basically, the high percentage is people getting boosters. There's that wall that we run up against that's pretty consistent, and but we are happy. We've had a very successful campaign, as John had alluded to earlier.
Well, first of all, what we've done is we've created a very strong relationship with the NAACP in Wilkes-Barre, and we're working together with Jamil Khalist and his staff, and we've done things in the past like we named it the Toyota Park, Martin Luther King Park, something that should have been done years ago, but it's done now, and it's a great memorial to Dr. King. We're also working on other projects. The big thing about Wilkes-Barre is we're a very diverse city. Latinos, African Americans, and it makes up a lot of the population in the city. My job as mayor is to work with the populations, whether they're Latino, African American, Panamanian, no matter what they are, and to provide the services and the counsel that they may need to help them start businesses or to work in neighborhoods, help them to purchase homes. And we created the program that we're doing that, where we help new home buyers. We help people remodel their homes. So we're working with everyone in the city, but especially building that strong relationship with our friends in the NAACP.
The theme for tonight is "This is Power." That theme is one that resonates across the nation because it is NAACP's National Convention theme. So I didn't create it for tonight, but I've been asked to speak on it. And how I'm going to address it tonight is not from the traditional way of this is power, but where power resides, because I think that's important for us to talk about, and how it resides and how it makes an impact on our communities.
Thank you very much. My name is David Yonkai, and I'm the first Vice President of the NAACP Branch number 2306, and we want to welcome you to the annual Freedom Fund Dinner. The theme of tonight's dinner is "This is Power." The late Governor Bob Casey, when asked to reflect on what a politician's legacy should be, replied, "People will ask what you did when you had the power. People will ask what you did when you had the power." Did you want the power for just the sake of having the power? Or did you want the power to make people's lives better? I have no doubt that all of you duly elected or not, have the power to do good. We live in divided times, and when someone tells us a lie that is equally and terribly untrue, we've got to call them on it. This is our power. When we are told that there is too much diversity, too much inclusion, we have got to tell them there's too little and we need more. That is our power. When elected leaders tell you that January 6th is being overblown and just a thing that happened because people were tourists who got out of hand, we've got to show them the damn video. This is our power. But most importantly, when we are told that the Civil Rights Acts of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968 are relics of the past and need to be watered down, we must look them in the eyes and tell them absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is our power. Now, power can be used for personal gain, or it can be used for positive action that builds the community, like our Mayor Brown is doing, not keeping it inert and inactive. We have the power, we just have the will, we just have to have the will to use it. The question we must ask ourselves tonight is, what did we do when we had the power? Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to make some quick introductions tonight of our leadership team, and when the executive committee names are called, I'd ask you to hold your applause until they all stand up and be recognized. So we're going to start with the executive committee members: Denise Acosta, John S. Barnes, Rose Daniels, Peggy A. Felton, Ronald L. Felton, Morris Jackson, and the Bloomsburg University NAACP College Chapter. The officers: Larry Singleton, Treasurer; Cabrina Jenkins, Assistant Secretary; Darrell Lewis, Secretary; Melissa Rivers, Third Vice President; Bill Brown, Second Vice President; and last but not least, our President, Jamel Khalist. So, give him a hand. Now, I love these guys, but I have to tell you that ever since Zoom started, our combined meeting time is probably more than the United States Supreme Court and the United Nations. But hey, that's how things get done. Real quick, I'd like to acknowledge some people that have come here tonight. And the first person I want to recognize is one of our judges. And some people will recognize that the first decade of the 2000s were not really great with the judicial system. And there were people who were elected who actually restored faith in the judiciary by working through a backlog of cases with integrity and competence. So I'd like to introduce the judges who are at the table there. And I see there Judge Lisa Gelb. Lisa, would you please stand up? Thank you very much. And if I missed anybody, please let me know. Also here tonight are representatives of the city. I'd like to recognize our city council members tonight who have been here every year lending their support. Councilman and head of the Wilkes-Barre Preservation Society, Tony Brooks from District B, and tonight also John Marconi from District E. They both have been supporters of our program, and we appreciate the fact that they've been here. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome a strong supporter of this branch who this year worked with us in renaming the Cole Street Park. He has put the town of Wilkes-Barre on a path of progress that will garner results long after we're gone. A person who treasures the past, who basically embraces the present. He tackles every single thing that happens in the city. I mean, the roof blew off the city hall, he tackled it. But he also embraces the future for a better Wilkes-Barre. Embracing the future for a better Wilkes-Barre is what Mayor George Brown is all about. Mayor? A point of personal privilege, I get to work for the guy every single day, and I'm loving it. Okay, now, what we're going to do now is I'd like to introduce the Toastmistress. The NAACP basically will have Toastmistresses instead of Toastmasters. And the reason why we do that is because we found that women are more articulate and smarter than men. So that's why. And if I'm in a boat drowning, I want to be with like 4 smart women than 4 strong guys. That's all I'm going to say without that. Now, anyway, I'd like to introduce a person that will take you through the rest of the program tonight. Rose Daniels has lived in Wilkes-Barre since 2006, has studied at Luzerne County Community College. Let's hear it for Luzerne County Community College. She is the creator of an innovative cultural effort called the Breakout Arts Movement, which is a community art-focused collective. It's all about uplifting youth through art and giving people of all ages safe, fun, and intellectually stimulating community experiences. Ms. Daniels has collaborated with the Catholic Youth Center, the Black Scranton Project, the Luzerne County Mental Health Officials, as well as BIPOC, which stands for Black and Indigenous People of Color. Her programs have been a safe haven and space for teens to grow and enjoy the arts. She has been a contributing mainstay in every event this branch has had since she joined as a member. At your table, our souvenir journal highlights the past and talks about the present. But if you want to look into the future, if you want a glimpse into the future of diversity in this community, you need to look no further than our mistress of ceremony tonight, Rose Daniels.
Right, he started flattering.
Wow, Mr. Yonkai, that was beautiful.
Well, I tried.
Oh, wow, I hope I live up to all those words, which I'm sure the people in the community can speak for those of you that I have been graced to meet throughout the time that I've been here in Wilkes-Barre, which has actually been since 2016, not 2006. I'd have been here in 6th grade if I came in 2006. But it has been such a beautiful journey. I love this community so much, and every single thing that I do for this community and in this community is exactly what tonight represents. Power. The power in community. So thank you so much. So next up, we have a great night planned out for you guys. And I want to get all of you guys just as pumped up as we are to be here with you. So I'm going to ask if you can say this with me. I'm going to say this is, and you're going to say power. You guys got that? All right. This is power. This is power. This is power. Oh, come on now. Y'all could, let me get a little, can we get it? We're right here. I want to bring it to just about here. Can we get it right here? Yeah, this is power. Let's go. This is power. So, I would like to invite up to the stage Mr. Mayor George Brown. Come on up. Come on up here. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Wilkes-Barre.
Again.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Yes, I'm George Brown, Mayor of Wilkes-Barre, and I'm very happy to be here. There's only one thing, David. When you asked me about putting an ad in the brochure, you told me you were going to put hair on my head, and you did not do that. Now, what's the story there?
I'd have to sacrifice.
Want my money back. No hair.
I'd have to sacrifice my own hair, which is not a lot.
But honestly, I'm here today, and I'm sorry I have to leave. I have another commitment, but I do want to actually read tonight a mayoral proclamation that I'm going to be making to the NAACP. Jamil, would you come up, please? This is from the Office of the Mayor, Wilkes-Barre. A proclamation, whereas the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch 2306 works as a local advocate for social justice and equality for people of color. Whereas the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch 2306 is celebrating its annual Freedom Fund Banquet on Friday, October 21st, 2022. The theme for this year's banquet is "This is Power." The dinner's keynote speaker is Glennis M. Johns, founder and CEO of Black Scranton Project. Whereas the annual Freedom Fund Banquet provides an opportunity to come together, network, and meet new friends, the event is truly a celebration of the diversity that makes up northeastern Pennsylvania. Now, therefore, it's resolved that I, George C. Brown, Mayor of the City of Wilkes-Barre, do hereby congratulate the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch on its annual Freedom Fund Banquet. Congratulations, my friend. Now, as Mayor of the City of Wilkes-Barre, I love the diversity that makes up our city. We have roughly 50,000 people that live in Wilkes-Barre. Just forget the census, because people don't want to sign up for the census, but we know we have about 50,000 people. And I'm very proud of the diversity that makes up the City of Wilkes-Barre. And I'm here to say that my office is going to work very closely with the NAACP and the leadership, and Jamil's doing a wonderful job. We're going to work together and promote what we need to do to work together to provide the teamwork and the success that the NAACP, African American community, the Latino community, and every other community that makes up the City of Wilkes-Barre is going to be progressing. So thank you so much for letting me be here tonight.
Your hair looks great. I feel like I should say that to you, Mr. Mayor. Your hair looks wonderful, okay? So we do have a correction to make. So tonight's keynote speaker is actually going to be Miss Wanda Ochei, okay? Just so you guys don't get confused. So I just wanted to clear that up, because we have some power coming to this mic after dinner. After dinner, no rush, you got some time. So next up, we will have our USA National Anthem sung by Miss Alicia Govins.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia Govins, and so I'm happy to be here to sing the national anthem for you all. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, please stand if you are if you can and are able. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Alicia. I asked 3 people how to pronounce your name tonight. I apologize. Next up, we have the Black National Anthem, which is going to touch my soul, and I cannot wait. Miss Katie Ermaeus, join us.
Please rise if you are able. Lift every voice and sing until earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound high as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun till our new day begun. Let us march on until victory is won. Oh, stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat had not our weary feet come to a place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Oh, God of our weary years, the God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far along the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray. Oh, sing lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land, native land.
Dang. Listen.
I ain't even supposed to speak yet. And I had to get on the mic. I feel like I'm ready to play a full court game of basketball or something after she. I feel it in my bones.
Right now.
Right.
I'm ready to fight
Right.
for my blackness.
For my Listen, we appreciate every time you sing. I feel like it fills the room. I'm ready to go and I'm fired up. This is. Oh, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. This is. Okay, let's go.
I told you guys it was gonna hit your spirits and your souls. I told y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to both of our singers. You did amazing, and we feel that power, and that's what we're all about tonight. Let's go. So next up, we have our COVID-19 collaborators and partners. So we're gonna invite up Mr. Ronald Felton. Come on.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is indeed power. The members of the COVID strike force is our president, Jamel Khalist, the secretary, Darrell C. Lewis, David Yankai, John Barnes is a community coordinator, and Larry Singleton. And the way this came about is that my family, my wife's family and I, we used to have on Sundays this Facebook live chat. And my sister-in-law was mentioning about the low vaccination rates here in Luzerne County. But I was curious. But even more so than that, what really drove me was that we grew up in Newark, New Jersey. A close friend of the family, because his daughter refused to take the vaccine, she wiped out her whole family. Her whole family. So when I found out what the vaccination percentages were in Wilkes-Barre, I asked the president if he would empower me to set up this ad hoc committee called the COVID Strike Force. Now, the work that we did could not have been possible without the help of the City of Wilkes-Barre Health Department and the Wilkes-Barre Housing Authority. But to go into that, I'm going to ask John Barnes to come up here because he is the community collaborator, and John did an excellent job of bringing all of these entities together. So John, would you please come up?
Good evening. I am John Barnes, and I am chair of the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch Community Coordination Committee. The NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch COVID-19 Strike Force was initiated and chaired by Ron Felton. We used as foundation the Pennsylvania State Health Department data for developing our efforts to positively impact the number of vaccinated individuals in the city. The COVID-19 free vaccination clinics represent a prime example of the multifaceted community collaboration that resulted in a successful public health initiative. The collaboration consisted of the Wilkes-Barre City Health Department, the Wilkes-Barre Housing Authority, United Way of Wyoming Valley, Community Care, Geisinger Health System, and the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch. Our strategy was to conduct direct outreach to 6 properties of the Wilkes-Barre Housing Authority, those being Boulevard Townhomes, Mineral Springs, Lincoln Plaza, East End Towers, South View Manor, and Valley View Terrace. The NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch offered a couple of incentives, one of which was a ticket to tonight's banquet. Some took advantage of that and are here this evening. And to them I say welcome. The clinics could not have happened without full commitment and actions of all community partners. At this time, I want to acknowledge the organizations and individuals that played such critical roles in implementing and presenting the COVID-19 free vaccination clinics. I am asking that all members of an organization present this evening stand at your seat when the organization's name is called. It was our plan to issue certificates of appreciation this evening, but I found out that they're still in development, and upon arrival, we will deliver those to you. First partner to be recognized is the Wilkes-Barre Health Department. Folks from the Wilkes-Barre Health Department. I wish to acknowledge that the health department nurses administered nearly 100 vaccinations during the clinics. And the health department personnel present this evening are Delphine Torbick, Pam Rapson, Debbie Posatsky, Donna Riley, Eileen Attar, and Katie McGlynn, Associate Director of Personal Health. Henry Radulski, their director, was also an integral part of this process, and we want to also acknowledge him even though he's not present. So please, a round of applause for these folks. And my personal thanks. The second is the Wilkes-Barre Housing Authority that provided physical space for the clinics and arranged for proper setup of facilities. Staff distributed flyers providing detailed clinic information to all residents of the 6 locations. The staff that were actively involved was Mike Wasco, the assistant director, and Judy Kozlowski, the director, neither of whom are here this evening. Community Care participated in planning and provided access to on-site individual appointments for vaccination. Those participants were Donna Tenadios, Cynthia Yencho, and the director, Catherine Hall. The United Way of Wyoming Valley developed professional, high-quality flyers that provided COVID-19 vaccination clinic details. Final product was ready for duplication and distribution, including online interaction for registration. Participating staff were Jennifer Deemer, Vice President for Community Impact, and Bill Jones, the President and Chief Executive Officer. Bill is here. Please stand, Bill. Thank you so much. Geisinger Health System. Reproduction of flyers in English and Spanish, provided Spanish translation service, delivered flyers to the Wilkes-Barre Housing Authority for distribution. Participating staff were Kim Dromgo, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. Kim isn't here this evening. And John Grabowski, the Senior Director of Community Relations. However, we do have folks from Geisinger, please stand. Regina Graham, Program Manager, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and Dr. Ali Chatalia, Director, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Graduate Education. So thank you folks very much for your participation, and thank you to all of the partners that made the free vaccination clinics a tremendous success. We certainly couldn't have done it without you. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Mr. John. One more time, if we could just give a warm round of applause for all the hard work that the COVID-19 group has been doing. You guys have been a powerful force helping health equity in our community, which is so important because as long as we are healthy, we can do more, right? And that's what? Power!
We're ready.
So now we're gonna have our dinner, which will be served shortly.
Invocation.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get you guys excited. We have our invocation, okay? Come on down.
First of all, we want to bless the hands that have prepared the food that we are about to receive tonight. O God, in these turbulent days, when fear and doubt are mounting high, give us broad visions, penetrating eyes, and power of endurance. Help us to work with renewed vigor for a warless world, for a better distribution of wealth, and for a brotherhood that transcends race or color. In the name and spirit of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I think a dinner like tonight is an opportunity for the community to come together and share the space and share love. When you come to a evening like this, you can expect to see distinguished guests. You can expect to see people from the community. You can expect to see small businesses, universities, organizations. So it's an opportunity for you to come and network and have a night off and enjoy and spend time with us.
Let me just check the temperature real quick. This is
Power.
okay. I'm gonna let them off. They got food. You know, yeah, they still eating.
Some people still eat.
I'll try one more time. This is power. Woo. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So I asked for the blessing to be able to speak about somebody that we lost on our executive committee team, a very, very big part of the energy that was the NAACP, that is the NAACP, that still will be the NAACP. I personally have had the pleasure of working with Miss Flora Jenkins from my first day. As a leader, you don't search for recognition. But Miss Flora was somebody who always made me feel like I was doing the right thing or I was on the right path. And sometimes, you know, as a child, you don't know if you're making your parents proud. And Miss Flora was one of the first people in the branch outside of our executive committee, but who told my mom, man, you must be proud of your son. And when Miss Flora said it, I looked at my mom and I saw her light up, and I appreciated Miss Flora for seeing me and seeing that and being a mother herself and understanding what it takes to raise a child. So I always have had a soft spot in my heart for Miss Flora since that moment. And unfortunately, due to illness, we did lose Miss Flora in September. So as a group, we're still trying to get through that. It has not been easy not hearing her voice on the Zooms. Can you hear me? I'm here. Can you hear me, y'all? I mean, woo. Her energy was unmatched. I mean, she came in, she was a light, she was everything we needed. And it's interesting or funny for me now to not look to my left and see her at the door. So I wanted to bring Cabrina up, who is Miss Flora's daughter, one of her daughters, to share this moment with us. And we're going to take this moment to take a moment of silence for Miss Flora. So where you are, we're just going to take about 30 seconds. And if you don't know who Miss Jenkins is, please take this time to find Miss Flora Jenkins' resolution in your pamphlets. You can look over that, and there's a picture of her there. So we'll take this moment of silence for Miss Jenkins. Thank you. And I wanted to, don't go anywhere, Cabrina. I wanted Cabrina to come on stage and to share in this moment, because I wanted to, and I'm always telling you, but I want you to know that we are your family. And whatever you need from the NAACP, I know from myself specifically and all our executive committee members, we want you to know that we love you and we appreciate you, and we want to continue to just wrap our arms around you. And as a community, we wanted to just make sure you understood that anything you need from us, we're only one call away. So.
Thank you.
No problem. Yes, I'm gonna pass the show back over to our Mistress of Ceremony.
Thank you for leading that, Jamal. We should always remember the fighters that fight with us and stand strong with us through everything, no matter what. It's part of the legacy that has built this NAACP for the 113 years that it's been around. So, you know, now Ms. Flora has joined that legacy and is here guiding us with her spirit. Also tonight with us is a longtime supporter of this branch and its people, the state representative of the 121st District, Eddie Day Pashinsky, and I just wanted to shout you out because we're gonna have you come up here with us when we're giving away these awards, and I just wanted everybody in the community to give you a shout out and give them a round of applause for all the hard work that you're doing with us. And it is that time of the night to give out our awards for the night for those beautiful and honorable members of our community who have done such beautiful work sharing in this. And what is this? Power. Power. Okay. They wasn't ready. Okay. And what is this? Power. Yes, it is. And let us never forget the power that we each carry. So first up, I would like to invite our first presenter up, who is Miss Denise Acosta. That's it.
So can I just, let's go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NAACP Banquet. Isn't this awesome? This is an honor for me to be up here. I promised everyone I wouldn't cry, because I cry all the time, but it's happy tears. Tonight, I am presenting this award to Marianne Velez because power. This young lady has been such an inspiration in my life. I relocated here from New York City in 2016, and I watched Marianne. I followed her a lot. I just watched her gathering up coats, gathering up clothes, gathering up food, and she was in her car live. I'm going here, I'm going to this shelter. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna follow this lady. I said, because her visions are the same visions that I have. And we wound up getting together, and she said, come on, Denise, you coming out with me. And I followed her, and I followed her. And we do so much within these communities. We take care of and make sure that these families have. Even if they say they have it, we want to make sure they got it. And Marianne, you are a blessing to each and every one of these families in the community. And I am so honored to not only be a friend, but she also appointed me as the director of our new affordable housing program, which is going to be here in Wilkes-Barre. And Marianne is the president. It's a lot of work, but Marianne, I love you. My family loves you, and all of these families love you. So, would you please come up, Mary Ann? Mary Ann, on behalf of the NAACP, we are presenting you with the Audrey Spence Community Service Award. You are a blessing, and I love you, and I thank you for everything that you do for these families within the community, including mine.
I'm speechless. I didn't know I was being nominated, and I was absolutely humbled to be nominated for this award. And I am truly honored to have received this award this evening. So Denise mentioned a lot that she followed the work I was doing in the community, and unbeknownst to Denise, I too followed her with the work that she was doing in the community. And I could not be more grateful for not only the support of Miss Denise Acosta, but everybody that is on my team. The work that we do in the community is exhausting at times. And there are times where we just want to throw our hands up in the air and say, okay, I've had enough. And then we go to put our heads down at bed at night, and we realize there was one child who did not go to bed with a full belly. There's somebody sleeping under a bridge somewhere throughout Luzerne County. There's a mother and father who are struggling to keep a roof over their kid's head, and we know the work isn't done. So we get back up and we try harder the next day. And with everything I do for the betterment of our communities, it is truly because I care about everybody in our communities. The children, the working families, the struggling senior citizens, the vets who are just absolutely displaced within our communities. I'm thankful for my husband giving me the ability to be able to run a nonprofit where I make absolutely no money, but the reward in itself is so much greater. I'm so grateful for everybody who continues to cheer me on and support me through every endeavor I take on. And as Denise mentioned, our latest initiative, our housing program, which is extremely dear to my heart. Growing up, I did a lot of work within the community, working with various organizations, and if there was one sentiment I carried with me throughout my adulthood, was that everybody should be afforded an opportunity to call someplace home. And that is what we are going to do for every person who is in need of affordable housing throughout Luzerne County. And then we will take on all of northeastern Pennsylvania, and we will make sure that every resident has the ability to attain affordable housing. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for this award. I am truly honored and I am truly humbled. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the hard work that you do. It will never ever go unseen and unfelt. It's in our hearts forever. One more time, you guys, give a round of applause for the power that lives right here in our community. Next up, we have Mr. Caliste presenting the President's Award.
Denise. They got a saying where I'm from, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Denise is a real one. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but Denise is a real one, and it's always good to have real people on our group and in our group, and to just hear how she was speaking about Miss Velez. I know that it was genuine, because I know Denise don't mess around. So I know that it was genuine, and grateful. I'm grateful for Denise and thankful for Miss Velez. So I have the distinct honor tonight, as every president does in our branch, to present someone with the President's Award. And as I was sitting down listening to Miss Denise talk about watching someone, and then even Miss Velez talking about just the things that leaders do go through, I'm sure all of you have felt like throwing in the towel at some point. And it gets rough, and we have to be reminded and remind ourselves that this work is necessary. So for me, I'm always looking for people in the community that I can pull from and that I see doing positive things. And for me, which is kind of unique and ironic for us, is Rose and I shared an article with Miss Viola. I hope I'm saying her name right. Miss Viola. And I had the opportunity to read of her work. And I was like, wow, this lady's dynamic. She's a lot of firsts. And she's local. And she's doing it. And she's doing it here. And she's making it happen. So for me, much like Miss Denise, I started looking, started studying, started seeing what she was doing, and I was blown away. Miss Viola is a force in this community. And I believe that she's done so silently and not seeking reward. And that's kind of how it happens when you're not looking for the reward. It comes. And she's somebody who, for me, as a young leader, I've been able to see how she's been able to keep her youth, her elegance, her freshness, her vibe. She has a podcast called Politics But Keep It Fashion. You got to keep it fashion. You got to keep it fast. So I'm always tuning in and listening and trying to see what are the nuances and what are things and how I can speak about the work that we're doing, but put it in layman terms, and listening to her and just seeing the work that she's doing. Again, it's inspiring, because again, this work doesn't come with much reward. So you always got to find something to just keep you going. So Ms. Viola, if you could please come to the stage to accept this President's Award. It will be a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm truly humbled, slightly speechless. This has been, such a passion project of mine, is just to help my community. And when I got out the Navy, all I wanted to do was come back to NAACP and really help and support my community. One of the things that it says in my bio, and it's something that is really close and near and dear to my heart, is I want the people of this area, I want the Black and brown people of this area of NAACP to be able to have the same opportunities and privileges that I have had in this area. Because I'm not alone on the island. There have been so many people who have helped me along the way. We talked about Glennis from Black Scranton Project. She is definitely a dear friend of mine and a personal mentor. And I've seen people like Connor O'Brien, who is over Scranton Fringe Festival, do these amazing things, and I wanted to do those things as well. There's no playbook. There's no manual to how to serve your community and help your community. It really just comes down to seeing a need and filling it and being there and helping it. I was able to be there for students who needed laptops when Scranton School District went to virtual schooling. I have been able to help students and help people in the community who are LGBTQ and talk to them and be able to mentor them and be a role model for young Black NAACP kids who grow up in this area where there's not a lot of Black role models. There's not a lot of people who look like me, who are standing up at places and for little kids to see. I wish I had a me when I was going to North Pocono High School in basically all-white school district. And then graduating and going to college in Scranton, basically to an all-white university. But I was able to do these things, and I want and I need for other kids in NEPA to have those same privileges and advantages, to be able to go to a good school, to be able to go to a college in their own neighborhood, and to be able to afford it. The schools in Scranton cost more than the median income of people who live in Scranton. The Scranton poverty level for Black kids is higher than in Jackson, Mississippi, which we know is just going through a water crisis. How can we let that happen? How can we let that be? The politicians who are over our area, whether it's city council members or mayors or representatives or congressmen, they are not coming to see the Black impoverished areas of Scranton, of Wilkes-Barre, of anywhere in between in the valley. They have to see these places and see the needs that need to be met, the people that are living in homes that, to me, should be demolished. People who are living in hotels. I was able to give a family who was in a hotel like 4 or 5 laptops because all the kids were using their mom's cell phone to do schoolwork in. It's a travesty to me that our elected officials let that happen and didn't do anything. And it was up to like little me, just sitting in my house on my phone, on the internet, looking and saying like, wow, this is terrible. These kids need us, and they need something because we're failing them. We're failing all the kids in our areas because we're not enabling them to have the power to be able to go on and to do these things. I had that power because I went to a good high school. I had that power because I went to a private college and had scholarships and had a family who was able to help support me. But everybody doesn't have that, and we need to ensure that our kids have the same opportunities that people like me had, and have the same privileges that people like me had. And we need to make sure that we elect officials who represent this, and not officials who talk bad about the students in Hazleton, who talk bad about immigrants, the brown ones, because they're not talking about the Irish ones or the Italian ones. They're talking about the brown immigrants who are coming here. We need to do better for our students here. We need to do better for our people here. We need better representation on our school boards. We need better representation on our city council. We need better representation in our representatives and our congressmen, because there's a lot of brown people here. And we are a big group of constituents that is ignored. And they're not paying attention to us, and we need them to pay attention to us. So for me, I am truly humbled and so thankful for this award, but I didn't do it alone. I did it with other community members. I did it with other people who are beside me and walking beside me and guiding me and helping me. And I did it because of the opportunities that I had. And we need our students and our kids to have the same opportunities to be able to stand up and go to school and have a good education and then come back. Be here and make a difference, and be here and be a part of the community like I did. I left and I went to the Navy, and all I wanted to do was come back because this was home to me, and this place afforded me so many opportunities. And I see our kids are not having those same things. So I love this award, and I accept this, and this is on behalf of like all the little Black and brown kids in this area who really need somebody, who need a mentor. I have a friend whose daughter is of mixed race, and she is being brutally bullied in North Pocono High School, and nobody wants to do anything about it. This award goes out to kids like her, kids like my little brother who were bullied in North Pocono High School because they were Black and because they were different. This goes out to all those kids who have false accusations made against them because they're the Black kid in their school. This goes out to Black Scranton Project, who had a defamation last night by one of our people running for office. You know, we need to do better. We need to stand up for our Black and brown community leaders and our community centers and say that we're not going to allow politicians to come in and say that they're not okay, to say that they're full of crime, to say that they're like a thorn in the side when they are a rose to the community. All these people in this room, you guys are roses to your community. Be that rose. You know, be that rose in concrete, like Tupac said, and spread that. So thank you very much, and I am truly, truly grateful and truly humbled. Thank you.
That was what I call a drop the mic. Oh man, you are such a powerhouse. Amber, everybody, one more time for Amber. If you didn't hear it enough tonight, I'm gonna say it one more time. This is power.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So next up, we're gonna have Mr. Eddie Day come on up and read a proclamation for our next award recipients who will be receiving the Diversity Leadership Award. So also, the presenters will be John and Jamel. So all of you guys come on up.
The 2022 NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch Diversity Leadership Awardee is Erica Acosta. Ms. Acosta is Director of Diversity Initiatives in the Center for Global Education and Diversity at Wilkes University and has contributed significantly, professionally and as a community activist, to promote equity and inclusion among and between a broad cross-section of the community. Her accomplishments and activities include co-chair for the Council on Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity at Wilkes University, serves as advisor to the Wilkes University Multicultural Student Coalition Club, served as NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch Executive Committee member and chairperson of the Education Committee. She played a critical role in the remote presentation of the 2021 NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch Martin Luther King Day program. Ms. Acosta was selected by Mayor George Brown to be the 2021 Grand Marshal of the Wilkes-Barre Multicultural Parade and Festival. The mayor proclaimed September 25th, 2021, Erica Acosta Day. This may be Erica Acosta night. Ms. Acosta brings her perspective and voice as a member of the Greater Wyoming Valley Chamber of Commerce. She has served as a member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council of the Greater Wyoming Valley Chamber of Commerce and serves as a board member of Dress for Success of Luzerne County, the mission of which is to empower women to achieve economic independence by providing a network of support, professional attire, and development of tools to help women thrive in work and in life. It is my privilege to present to Erica Acosta the 2022 NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch Diversity Leadership Award.
I would like to thank the committee. I would like to thank the NAACP for all their support since I moved in the area in 2008.
I couldn't be here without the NAACP, and then also with the beautiful people in my community who has brought me here, because you all have put me in this platform. Thank you. I cannot do diversity, equity, and inclusion work alone. It takes a village and it takes a community, and my students make me better, and my family and community make me better. And I can only thank God for those blessings as I continue to move forward with all your collaborations in moving diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community. Thank you.
We have one more Diversity Leadership Award. So the other recipient of the night, unfortunately, he was unable to be here. He had a death in the family, so he had to attend to. But it's Mr. Dan Kimborough. We'll give him a round of applause. Dan Kimborough. Dan Kimborough was somebody that I personally met at the Greater Wyoming Valley Chamber of Commerce Awards dinner last year, and I have a bias on guys that work in tech. He was just somebody who was just around, just making sure that everything was going good with the video and the audio and things like that, and we kind of had a time to sit to the side and just speak about what he was actually doing in the community. And I realized then that Dan was somebody and a force to be reckoned with. I think we all can understand that we are in a time of, we're in a digital age at this point. We're in a space where if you don't have a social media footprint, then you're not actually doing any work, you know. And Dan is somebody who gives organizations and companies life in that digital space. What he does through video, what he does engaging our minority businesses. He also has a podcast as well where he highlights the minority businesses. He is somebody who, again, is silently doing the necessary work in this community and not looking for reward. I'm always in, if you guys are familiar with the chamber has a think center. So I'm usually downstairs in their co-work space, and Dan is always down there just figuring things out, helping the chamber get things together. And it's people like Dan who are the glue of the community when it comes to, in my opinion, diversity. He's able to connect those that are trying to take something raw and turn it into something beautiful. He's not a gatekeeper, but he's somebody that holds the door open and allows others to come through. And I think Dan is more than worthy of this acknowledgement tonight, but unfortunately he was unable to be here to accept it. So in his honor, I will accept the award for him, and I'm sure that he would have had very touching words for you all, but I'm sure he's a man of a few words. But Dan, if you ever get the opportunity to see Dan in the community, I urge you all to try to work with him because he's doing very tremendous things. So, Dan Kimborough.
Thank you very much, Jamil. Can you feel that power?
Yeah. I feel it.
Every one of these people that came up here today expressed the best of goodness, heart, helping one another. And they articulated their concerns, their dedication, their love of their fellow person so beautifully. One of the fine points that I've always had as a state representative was to recognize all of these wonderful people that make up our community. And yes, life is tough. Yes, we have many challenges. But through their energy, through their dedication, through their drive, their commitment to make things better for themselves, their family, and their children, that's what makes us better. And it's so obvious in here. As a former teacher, I was so impressed by all the things that was said here today and the way it was said. And I have to say to Amber, you're right. But the power is right here in who you choose to represent you. And the power is right here by staying engaged. When you stay engaged, when you make sure you express yourself professionally to those that have the power to make the change, you will see that change. I've been at many of these NAACP events, and I can tell you I am extremely impressed. Jamil, I know you're committed. He's a young guy that's got the drive and the energy and the education. Rosie, another one. Quality. You're the leaders. You're the new leaders going forward. And that's why I'm excited. So I do have, a certificate for Dan and for Amber and for Marianne. And by the way, Marianne, she's been in my office already. We've had many discussions on how we get some of these things done. We're going to do it because they're committed. And then we have Erica. What a magnificent history. You heard her speak. It's that education. That's the key. Education is how you move up in the world. Or training and skills, apprenticeships, is how you move up in the world. The more you know, the further you go. Got it? The more you know, the further you go. And that's why you must constantly work towards your education, because that's how you will have success, and then you'll provide a better foundation for your family. Erica has done that. It was magnificent when I read the background. And Erica, you and I have touched our presence at various events. And I was impressed before, I'm even more impressed now. So on behalf of the House of Representatives, I am proud to present you with this citation on behalf of Governor Wolf and the members of the House of Representatives for your outstanding work and commitment to the quality of our area. You are a true asset, and it's my honor to present this to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pashinsky. I'm going to have Mr. Barnes introduce our keynote speaker, but before I do that, definitely wanted to, Erica just got me in the, definitely want you guys to know that we are working, and Erica is a part of what inspired what will come. I think that what we're trying to do and what was spoken about with our brown brothers and sisters in the community, the growing community, we want you guys to know that the NAACP es para todos. And we are going to be here. Ya tú sabes, we are going to be here. We're going to be in the community working together with our Spanish brothers and sisters. And just look out for that, because that's going to be something that I think is going to be very beneficial for us to move this thing forward, as Ms. Viola spoke about, that group that seems to be unheard. We're here, and it's always a beautiful thing when people like Erica and Dan get honored, because it shines a light on the work that's actually being done, the positive work. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. John Barnes.
Thank you. I found out 2 minutes ago that I was going to be introducing Wanda Ochei, which is fine because I know Wanda Ochei in a professional capacity. We worked together at one time. I'm an old retired guy, so it's been a while since I had the pleasure of working with Wanda. But one of the things I recall, and one of my impressions of Wanda, is that she is an outstanding speaker. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because you need to hear her, not me. Wanda is a consummate professional. She has dedicated her career to support and advancement of college students. At the moment, she is sharing her talents with students at Penn State University. So without further ado, I'm going to please call Wanda Ochei to the podium, to the mic, and she can speak to you about what it means when we say this is power. Please welcome Wanda Ochei.
Wow, John Barnes, thank you for that lovely welcome. It was very warm. I miss him at Penn State. He was one of those colleagues that if you ever got yourself in a little bind and had a bad day, he would always have some words to say to encourage you, to help you to hold on just a little while longer. Thank you, Mr. Barnes, for that. I'd also would like to acknowledge the entire executive leadership team of the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch, and also acknowledge the Freedom Fund Committee as they extended the opportunity for me to be here tonight. And I have to tell you, I was very honored with that opportunity. I was kind of intimidated a little bit by it as well, and I'll tell you why. This Freedom Fund Banquet in previous years has had some really outstanding presenters. Now, I know John Barnes has been talking me up and everything, but you know, I'm not a political figure. You know, I'm not this major name out there in the community. You know, I'm just somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, a church member, a taxpayer, if anybody, yeah, a taxpayer. You know, an administrator in higher education. So I don't have a name that everybody remembers. But I will tell you this, in my experience in life, I've come to realize that everybody has a little bit of something to give, to inspire and to encourage and to motivate others. And that's what we're here for, right? And so, yes, I may not be that name, but I will say to you right now that I'm here for a purpose. This time, this space, this is my destiny. And what I'm going to offer you tonight is what I hope that you take home with you, would be words of encouragement and motivation. So here we go. The question of the night is, well, there's not a question. The theme is, this is power. But I tell you that if I asked each one in this room what power was, everyone in this room would have their own interpretation of what power would be. And that interpretation would be based on your life experiences, what you've witnessed in others, both good and bad, because I've seen some bad power, yes, or I've seen power being used for not good purposes. But we would have our own interpretation of what power is. So when we say, this is power, you fill in that blank, and sometimes how that is filled in it may be questionable for some people outside of this room, because I know you all know what is power. But I'm going to take it back to the dictionary, because you know a good presenter always goes to what? Webster? Or the dictionary of Google? That's the one I went to. And in the dictionary of Google, I'm going to share with you some of the terms that came up when I looked for the word power. Power, the ability to do or act. Yes. Power, the capability of doing or accomplishing something. Power, political or national strength. Power, might or force. Power, the possession of control or command of other people. Power, authority. Power, influence. And then I did find some more colloquial phrases that define power, and you probably have heard these too, right? Love is power. Lots of love is lots of power, right? Black power. Wealth is power. Voice is power. Knowledge is power. The obtaining of knowledge is power. The use of knowledge is power. The respect of knowledge is power. I just added those for myself. That didn't come up in Google. It did not come up in Google. Last but not least, and I depend on it a lot in my life, both professionally and personally, faith is power. Faith in oneself, faith in each other, faith in what we're doing right, faith in how we're going to get it right when we're doing wrong, but faith is power. So you see, I had a wide palette of options to choose from in setting my thoughts for tonight's presentation. After meditation, and I use the word meditation, but I'm Southern Baptist and I'm going to say it how we say it, moments of prayer. After prayer, I decided not to focus on what power is. Because the theme is, this is power. So I'm being bold by saying I'm not going to focus on what power is. But I'm going to focus on where power resides. Because I believe that where it resides, that's more impactful for us. Not what it is, but where it is. That's where it's at, where it is. So please, allow me to share with you some of my thoughts about where power resides. And I'm not going to take all night to do it, but I'm hoping that you'll walk away with the meaning of what I want to share. Power resides in the mind. Our minds are the most powerful tool that we can harness all levels of success in our lives. Our thoughts shape who we are and who we will become, as well as influence our physical well-being and our emotional state. Mind power, the power of the mind. Your thoughts can create your reality. Would you agree with me that we think about things, how we think about things forms our belief system, and our belief systems then impact the outcomes of our personal and professional lives? You are closer to impacting change in the world once you realize and start believing that you can. You're closer to impacting change in the world once you realize and believe that you can. Alice Walker, do you all remember Alice Walker, The Color Purple? Yes, The Color Purple. Did anyone read the novel? Did anyone watch the movie? Did anyone see Fantasia on Broadway? Is anyone anticipating Oprah Winfrey redoing The Color Purple? Yes. Now, some of you all didn't raise your hand. So I don't want to, what do they call it, spoiler? I don't want to spoil it for you. But the main protagonist of The Color Purple was Celie, yes? Celie lived a hard life. She was abused. She raised up in an abusive family home. Then she married an abusive man that called her ugly and stupid every chance he could get. And Celie started believing that she was ugly and stupid. And she started embracing a sense of being powerless. But one day, Celie woke up and she started realizing that she can embrace her power as a woman, as a human being. And do you guys remember the scene when she rose up and you knew that she had embraced her sense of being powerful? And she was so powerful that she initiated a curse on her main oppressor. Do y'all remember what that curse was? I use it every now and again. Yes. She extended her hand out. She looked at her oppressor and she said, "What? Until you do right by me, everything you try to do will fail." Now, isn't that something when someone feels empowered after being oppressed? How they start talking different, feeling different, walking different. Come on now. You walk in the room, your shoulders are held back, your head is held high. That's how I do it. I'm the woman when I walk in the room, they're like, who that? Who's that right there? Because I feel empowered. And Celie felt empowered at that moment when she was addressing her husband. What do they call him, Mister? He didn't even have a first name. He was just called Mister. And when Mister started, like he was going to put her back in her place, she didn't even have to say a word. One thing she did was tuck that hand out again. When you feel empowered, that's all you have to do. Sometimes you don't even have to say a word. It could just be a look. It could just be a vibe. Hello. Thank you, Rose, for that. It could just be a vibe. What Celie experienced was a change of mindset. Remember I said power is in the mind? She experienced a change of mindset. She started thinking that I'm not what people say I am who I think I am. Yes, change of mindset. But to experience a change of mindset, sometimes you got to go through some oppressive moments. Yes, sometimes you got to go through those trying moments, but those trying moments are worth it if you come outside of those trying moments in victory, claiming your power. And that's what Celie did. Now, when you believe yourself to be powerful, you even become a better influence for others, because people will see the power that you exude and they will want to be a part of that. Sometimes you see folks walking around and they got whole entourages of folks behind them because people are seeing that power. They're like, they want to get that. They want to get that. John Maxwell, author and corporate trainer, says, influence is the ability to have a positive impact on others, to persuade or convince them to gain their support. Now, some people may be confused about that. They believe that power comes with title and position, but it doesn't. Because we know a lot of people with some really prestigious titles and some wonderful positions, but they couldn't influence a fly if they had to, off of their piece of watermelon. Yes, yes. But you know, for that instance of perceived power stagnation, thinking you got it but you don't have it, there is a remedy. And I found one in a quote by Peter Cesaro. He's the author of the book, The Emotionally Healthy Leader. And it states, because this is important, because he had an epiphany about himself and his ability to exude and use his power. He said, when I was younger, I started out wanting to change the world. I thought that too ambitious, so I said that I wanted to change my state. As I grew older, this too was ambitious. So I set out to change my town. He ain't having any luck, right? When I realized that I could not do this, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I knew that I should have started changing myself first. Woo! If I had started changing myself, maybe then I would have succeeded in changing my family. Then changing the town, and even state, and who knows, maybe the world. Wow. I want you all to just let that resonate with you for a moment. Sometimes we're too busy trying to change things outside of us, and we forget that we haven't even changed our own mindset. We haven't changed our old ways of thinking and our old ways of doing, and we think we're going to be out there in the community making the difference that we want to see when we don't even see the difference in ourselves. That's powerful. That was Peter. Peter, I don't know this gentleman, but he really had some insightful words there. Learning over time that the change needs to happen with him first. So my suggestion is we as leaders need to conduct the suggested examination that Peter did and make the changes that we need to make. Change your mindset and you will change the world. Now that was just the first place that power resides, in the mind. But then I meditated on where else does power reside. Power resides in our heart. I'm going to say that again. Power resides in our heart. What does that mean? Now, when we think of the heart is just an organ that distributes nourishing blood throughout our bodies and serves as our source of life and physical vitality. But it serves another purpose too, right? Because in our heart are our passions. In our heart are the things that we find that motivate us, our desires, our personal intentions, and compassion for others. That's where that's all inscribed, in your heart. In your heart. And power resides in that inscription. Does anyone remember Dr. Cornel West? Show of hands. Philosopher, author, community activist. He said it best. You can't lead the people if you don't love the people. You can't save the people if you don't serve the people. Love, service, love, service. That's what we should be doing as leaders. Yes? Let's be clear. I'm not talking about that romantical love. Me Too movement. Okay? I'm not talking about being romantic. But I'm talking about loving the people is relating to people, connecting with people. Having a commitment to the people is how we as leaders can implement sustainable change. The individuals that were up here receiving awards, that's what they are about. The sustainable changes. The words that were said about the awardees, about how they were working with individuals and families and creating programs and initiatives. That's how they were showing their love and commitment to the people that they were serving. Love and service. Power is in our hearts. You know, there's some notable humanitarians that did work that reflected that they had the love in their heart for the people they were serving. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King loved his people. Loved his people. Mother Teresa loved her people. In her country, going out feeding the poor and talking with political leaders and making sure that allocations were made for those that didn't have so that they could survive. Nelson Mandela loved his people, served time in jail for his people, to deliver his people. Through their dedication with others, there was long-standing, sustainable improvements that we are still benefiting from today. Now that is power. Undeniable, that is power. Chris Donnell, lifelong entrepreneur and change leader, did a TEDx talk on power, authority, and love. And he was talking about how you can't have power without love, you can't have love without authority, you can't have anxiety without love. It was a wonderful TEDx presentation. And he said about power, power without love becomes brutal and oppressive. Love without power is an empty promise. Something to think about. Let us as leaders lead with power, partner with love in our thoughts and in our actions. This is the key to powerful social transformation. Transformation within our organization, our institutions, and in our communities. So I've given you two things to think about where power resides. Since power resides in the mind, we have claimed our personal power through a change in mindset. Since power resides in our hearts, we have embraced our compassion for serving others to ensure sustainable change. Now, we must join others who are willing to pool their thoughts, knowledge, energy, and resources for the common good, because power resides in our connection with others. Coming together with others allows us to share ideas about things that are important to us and share ways in which we can contribute to addressing the matters that impact us. I strongly believe that to solve the issues of the world and that the world faces, we need to harness the potential of our collective thoughts, ideas, and conversations. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, you go with other people. Some of the receivers or recipients of awards tonight talk about the work that has to continually that needs to be done. There's more work to be done. There's never been a quick fix to anything that the NAACP has addressed in its many years of operations. It has taken time and will take more time. And the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go far, we go together. That's what makes us powerful, going together. Now, the NAACP Wilkes-Barre Branch has embraced the importance of harnessing the collective power of our community. You are here tonight because you have seen many of the outstanding, successful programs that this branch has started and continues to support. That's one thing that you can count on with the NAACP branch of Wilkes-Barre, and that is this. They're going to have the collective voice. Because what? That is power. They're going to focus on collective goals. Because what? That is power. And they're going to engage in collective action in everything that they do. Because what? That is power. In this room tonight, we are a collective with a common goal. And that common goal is to support the continuation of the NAACP Wilkes-Barre branches, initiatives, and programs to support this community. We have the power and the obligation to provide a safe place, to provide and hold up this branch as they provide the pillars of support for this community and for its people. This is power, and may it continue to reside right here with the NAACP branch here in Wilkes-Barre. That concludes my presentation for tonight. I have shared with you where I think power resides, and I hope that you have embraced that. If the takeaway that you get from this presentation is just that, then I have done what I needed to do in this space tonight. Again, I've appreciated the time that you've given me and the attention that you have shared while I've shared with you. Peace and thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those powerful, powerful words with us. And I think we all definitely will have such a beautiful takeaway. And I hope that has inspired you guys, because I was sitting in my seat overwhelmed with inspiration. Because the work we do as a community, as a collective, it is so important. And coming together like this on nights like this to celebrate the hard work that we do in the community is so reinvigorating. I think we all gonna go back to work on Monday, ready to go. So now, after such a wonderful program with so many beautiful and hardworking leaders being recognized, and so many of you guys right here in the community supporting us, we're coming to a close. So, with our closing remarks, we'll have our president, Mr. Jamel Khalist.
How we doing? We almost out of here, guys. We almost out of here. Don't worry. So, I've definitely felt over the years my comfort has gotten more and more. I've gotten more comfortable speaking, especially being on this stage. I'm going to share a little bit about myself with you all and this branch. I first came to a Freedom Fund Banquet in 2017 when we were chartering the Bloomsburg University NAACP. So I do have the distinct honor of being one of the founding members of the Bloomsburg University NAACP as well. And I'm gonna actually have them stand up. Can the Bloomsburg NAACP stand up, please? Yes. That group is still going and still doing tremendous work on campus, and I'm super proud of them. Definitely, as a leader, as a young leader, it's always hard to let go. I don't know if you guys experienced that, but I had a hard time letting go of what we created on campus at Bloomsburg, and I feel as though it's in great hands. So thank you all, and thank you guys for being here. We spoke about a lot, but before I get into that, I want to highlight some other people that are here in support of myself as well. And I'm going to give you guys a little backstory. When I was young, well, I'll keep it brief, but when I was young, I used to want to be a pastor. As ironic as that was, I used to want to be a pastor. And I remember telling these two women, I'm gonna be a pastor when I grow up. I would do something, and they supported it. They supported me, and they made me feel like it was possible. And I didn't realize then, growing up in New York, early 2000s, it was a rough place, and I didn't realize the covering that I was getting. At times, I was angry. Why can't I go out? Why can't I do this? Why? But I didn't realize what they were doing for me. So I'd be remiss to have them in the room and not highlight my mother and aunt. And I want them to stand up, please. My mom and my aunt. They are my major supporters. Even Rose and I had the opportunity. Melissa had the opportunity to go to our national convention, and my mom was there. My mom is always going to be front and center and supporting everything I'm doing. So, I'd be remiss not to just thank them and use my time to just bring acknowledgement to them. Yes. So it'll make sense now, but technology. Give me 1 second. Let me break into this phone. Okay. So a culture of innovation from leadership is essential in cultivating growth. As the old saying goes, judge a tree by the fruit it bears. This past year, we have been in the garden. watering, trimming, fertilizing, weeding, and feeding the seeds that were planted so many years ago in this community. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the fruits of a rededicated grassroots approach by our branch. Members like Ms. Rose Daniels and Denise Acosta have been tremendous in what we are trying to do and the vision that we're trying to push forward. And so I just wanted to highlight them and the work that they have been doing and providing to us and for us. I would like to thank you for your attendance and support tonight. I would like to thank Ms. Wanda Ochei for that touching message. I've been here a couple of years. That was one of the best. That was one of the best. It felt organic and it felt real, and sometimes that's what we need. So thank you for that. I'd also like to thank our Freedom Fund Committee. I know there's somewhere in our Freedom Fund chair, Ms. Peggy Felton. If you can stand up, please, and can we all just give a round of applause for Ms. Felton and the Freedom Fund Committee. For the wonderful work that they're doing. As I had mentioned, you have to judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. And I said this last year, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in if it wasn't for Ms. Felton. So again, the work that past administrations had done to water what we were trying to do in Bloomsburg University turned into me standing in front of you today as one of the youngest presidents in the state conference, one of the youngest advisors in the nation, and one of the, I like to consider myself one of the up and coming leaders in the NAACP. So without people like Ms. Felton watering and being what I needed, I wouldn't be here today. So again, it's a testament to what this branch has done. It has stood the test of time, and now we're pivoting into a new direction. I have coming up on 2 years, and we've been beating the streets. I have been in the Think Center almost 3-4 days out of the week. I'm always in Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park. Right? Those who don't know, it's not Cold Street Park anymore, it's MLK Park. But I've been in MLK Park touching the youth, being just a part of the community, want people to feel like the NAACP is a part of the everyday, not just an organization you run to when things get bad. So we've been active in trying to change that perception. The work that our past administrations have been doing has been very necessary and very needed, but we realize we have an influx. A lot of people are coming in from bigger cities, and we know that they don't understand the work that has been done here before. So we know that we have to be as active as possible and do what's necessary for this community. As a lot of our awardees came up and spoke about, it's not easy. I don't know if anybody is not familiar. We do not get paid for this work. Not a penny, not anything. It's a lot of just us being purely passionate and putting forth ourselves before, and thinking about ourselves, putting forth ourselves for the community before anything else. So with that, it's always good to just be able to share the space and share nights like this with you all. So it's always a pleasure to be in spaces like this. For me, again, like I wasn't a kid who was super political. I was somebody who took a chance and made it work. So again, I'm fortunate for the branch and being a pillar in this community and allowing me the space and the opportunity to be able to lead and to be able to and to trust me. So congratulations to all our award recipients for the outstanding contributions they've made to the community. Marianne, Erica, Dan, Amber, the work is only just the beginning. and allow these accolades to become the stepping stones as you continue to move forward. I'd like to thank our longtime sponsors and our new community partners. I would like to give a special thanks to the dignitaries and politicians who showed up to support our annual Freedom Fund Banquet, and the colleges and universities for their continued support over the years. It is my hope that you've had the opportunity to network. And again, please, if you are in a college or you are a young person, please take this opportunity to network. We are trying to do some really innovative things in this region. I have the distinct honor of serving as the advisor for the Pennsylvania State Conference Youth and College Division of the NAACP. So we are trying to revitalize this area. There is a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we can do. And Rose and I had the opportunity to sit and talk and in Atlantic City. It was late night and we were just talking about the wonders that can be in this community, and we are absolutely excited about what we are going to hopefully roll out for you all. So please take this opportunity to connect and do what's necessary. All right, so finally, with that being said, thank you all for coming out. Travel safe, and please stay engaged in everything we have going on. On your seats, we gave out a card with a QR code on it. As I mentioned before, we have tripled, doubled, quadrupled our social media footprint. You can find us on all social media platforms, just typing in Wilkes-Barre NAACP. We even have a TikTok. You might see me getting a little jiggy on the TikTok. You never know, you never know. Again, we're gonna keep it as light as possible because we know this work is heavy. So anytime you see us doing this work, and please just let us know. Let us know how you feel about what we're doing, because it doesn't come with much reward. And like Mr. Yonka had mentioned, these meetings get long. They get long, and we go to bat, but all we want to do is make sure that the community is getting the best of the organization. And at the end of the day, that's all we want to present to you all. So I'm hoping that through tonight, through our events, through our initiatives, through our programs, you can see the wonders of the NAACP, of the association, and what we are working on. So thank you. And before I do that, I just want to thank Rose personally for being our mistress of ceremony. Yeah, I see you, Chef. I think Rose has been somebody who, again, I'm not born and raised in NEPA, but she's somebody who gave me the keys to the city. Yeah, I feel like. Opened up the CYC for me to be able to go in and play basketball with the youth, for them to feel me and touch me. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, is just make sure that they knew I was here and I existed. And Rose, oh yeah, they are here actually. Can the CYC youth please stand up, please? We have some youth here from the CYC as well. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Please don't be shy. Yes. That's a future chef right there, if y'all don't know.
Chef John.
Chef John, yes. Rose, again, has given me the opportunity to meet people like Chef John and meet the young people, the future of our community. So, Rose, thank you for being willing and being open to sharing your community with me, and being a part of this fight. I think we definitely know what it comes with. So thank you all, and like I said, get home safe, and we look forward to seeing you at future events.